Hola, we're the Three Amigas.
Most people associate cigarette smoking with breathing problems and lung cancer, but did you know that smoking is also a major cause of heart disease for men and women? Smokers may be at an increased risk of heart disease due to higher blood pressure and heart rate because cigarette smoking harms the body by raising cholesterol levels and blood pressure. Cigarette smoking is a habit that greatly increases your chances of developing cardiovascular diseases. Surprisingly as it may seem, smoking by women in this country causes almost as many deaths from heart disease as from lung cancer. If you smoke, you are 2 to 6 times more likely to suffer a heart attack than a non-smoking woman, and the risk increases with the number of cigarettes you smoke each day. Smokers are more than 5 times as likely as non-smokers to develop abdominal aortic aneurysms, and it can trigger palpitations. Our first hypothesis is that female non-smokers will have a lower exchange of heart rate than female smokers while watching TV. We interviewed 184 females, 24 of which were smokers, and asked them to check their heart rate before watching TV and during. We then took the difference between the heart rate taken before and during and created a percentage difference. We then averaged the heart rate of the female smokers versus female non-smokers to find out who had a lower exchange of heart rate while watching TV. Our analysis and conclusion is that female non-smokers did have a lower exchange of heart rate versus female smokers while watching TV. Our hypothesis was correct. From the moment smoke reaches your lungs, your heart is forced to work harder. Your pulse quickens, forcing your heart to beat an extra 10 to 25 times per minute, as many as 36,000 additional beats per day. Therefore, female non-smokers would have a lower exchange of heart rate while simply sitting and watching TV versus a female smoker. Our second hypothesis had to do with chronic coffee drinkers. We hypothesized that female chronic coffee drinkers will have a greater exchange of heart rate than men who are chronic coffee drinkers. Many people start their morning off with a cup of coffee because it reduces their tiredness, it improves their concentration, and extends intellectual efficiency. But what they don't know is it decreases their response time, can trigger food cravings, stimulate appetite, increase their stress level, and increase insulin resistance. Coffee elevates the stress hormone cortisol, which increases heart rate and blood pressure. Caffeine increases blood pressure and heart rate and also amplifies those effects at the times of higher levels of stress. Caffeine affects women differently than it does men. Women not only have a greater sensitivity to caffeine, but they also take much longer to detoxify caffeine and recover from its stimulating effects. We interviewed 108 female chronic coffee drinkers and 25 male chronic coffee drinkers and asked them to take their heart rate before drinking coffee and 30 minutes after. We then got a percentage difference between the starting heart rate and after heart rate and created an average for male heart rates and female heart rates to see who had a higher exchange of heart. Our analysis and conclusion are as follows. Females did have a greater exchange of heart rate than male chronic coffee drinkers. Our hypothesis was correct. Statistically, women have a higher heart rate because females have smaller bodies on average. They have a smaller volume of blood and smaller hearts. The blood circulates faster, and the heart therefore beats faster. The negative effect of caffeine is an increasing heart rate. Therefore, the heart rates for males and females both did go up, but it left us with a statistic that female chronic coffee drinkers will have a higher exchange of heart rate than males. As we said before, women not only have a greater sensitivity to caffeine, but they also take much longer to detoxify the caffeine and recover from its stimulating effects.